All right, today we're going to be talking about Arc Flash PPE. Arc Flash PPE is based on a rating. We have different categories, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they're based on a calorie. A calorie is roughly described or defined as how much heat it would take to burn 1 square centimeter of your skin in 1 second. It's actually quite a significant amount of heat. I have 2 examples here today. This is a category 2 and a category 4. The category 2 is rated for 8 calories. In this kit, you have flame-resistant clothing, relatively thin, it's about a thickness of blue jeans roughly, or a thick shirt. You have a balaclava, which you don over your head, almost like a ski mask. You have your face shield, which is also required to have your safety glasses within this, and that shields you from the blast. And then you have your gloves. And then you have additional gloves that go over. These are your ARC-rated gloves, and these are protectors. So that way, when you're wearing these rubber gloves, they do not get marred, cut, anything along those lines from sharp surfaces and henceforth exposing your skin. I'll show you on how to inspect these, but each one of these pairs of gloves has an inspection date on it. These here are March 13th, 20. They're good for 1 year after the date of inspection. This is a class 4 set. Once again, you have a face shield, but this has included a hood. And this is about maybe 2 to 3 times thicker than the category 2 because it's rated for a much higher heat. And it has a much better insulation rating for your protection to your skin. You also have a pair of gloves and liners, both a lot thicker, and a much thicker pair of pants or overalls and jacket that goes with it. Every time what you want to do when you're donning your PPE is you want to check your gloves for any flaws. The way that you do that is a visual inspection, make sure there's no cuts or gashes or anything along those lines. But then what you can do is you roll them up and close up that opening, and you should be able to listen and hear if there's any air leakage. If there is even a pinhole leak, voltage can find it, potentially. And that's how you inspect your gloves. You also want to inspect your PPE to make sure there's no rips or any major damage or any spots where your flesh can be exposed. You also want to make sure that when you are wearing Arc Flash PPE, you're not wearing jewelry, you don't have facial rings, rings on your hands, anything that can conduct electricity, because that can be an attractant. One major thing that you need to consider is, even with the category 2, these are not very dexterous. This is not anything that you can typically use for precise work. That being said, doing something live is always a last resort. If you have the opportunity to work with 0 voltage, absolutely, that is the safest way. When there is no potential, you're not going to get harmed by electricity. However, when you are verifying for 0 voltage, or verifying the voltage once the equipment is turned back on or energized for the first time, you want to protect yourself. You want to make sure that you have taken those proper steps to ensure that you will be safe. This stuff here, also keep in mind, is designed to save your life. If you are involved in an arc flash creates an arc blast. An arc blast can be so concussive that it can throw you against the wall, it can blast you back many feet, it can shatter your bones and internal organs. Not mincing any words. This will save your life, but it's not like you're going to be walking home from work that day, just like, whew, I made it. PPE is the last resort. Make sure you do your due diligence to make sure you're doing your job as safe as possible. You do your final inspections, make sure everything is good, and then, utilizing the proper PPE, you can ensure that you're going to go home safe that day.